Nintendo Labo is in many ways a new platform for Nintendo that just builds upon the Nintendo Switch. It's a lot more than just cardboard with instructions, it's an introduction to coding, an invitation to create, and a doorway to discovery. Now this review is coming from the perspective of a 22-year-old male that loves computer science and tinkering with simple materials to create extraordinary projects, but it's no secret that Nintendo is really just targeting children or families with children, where a single parent or a pair of parents might just help their child create the Toy-Con and show them the process of how everything works, sort of an introduction to crafting and the science of coding. In that sense, Nintendo Labo is an accessory platform for the Nintendo Switch, and currently, there's two out, the Variety Kit and the Robot Kit. I personally only got the Variety Kit, so that's what my review and initial thoughts are going to be based on. So the Variety Kit costs $70 and comes with 5 different Toy-Cons. Toy-Cons are these creations made out of cardboard. The Variety Kit consists of a piano, a motorcycle steering wheel, a house, a fishing rod, and 2 RC cars. Along with the Toy-Con is a game cartridge that provides all of the software needed for the Toy-Cons, such as their instructions and the games to play with them. Starting up the software, you're presented with 3 categories: Make, Play, and Discover. Jumping straight into the Make section, you can choose which Toy-Con you want to start building. Nintendo gives you a rough estimation on how long it'll take you to build each of the Toy-Con. The estimations are targeted at children making the projects, but vary among the person. I was able to complete the piano project in about an hour and a half, when Nintendo estimated it would take about 2 to 3 hours. Actually taking these sheets of cardboard and creating an elaborate Toy-Con out of it is really simple, and that's in part to the great instructions provided with the Nintendo Labo software. Clicking on a project breaks it down into major steps that are broken down into further minor interactive tutorials. For example, building the piano breaks it up into 6 sections consisting of the main body, the keyboard shell, the keyboard itself, the switch holder, and all the knobs and remaining bits and pieces. The tutorials are intuitive, and the forms of interactions make it fun and easy to follow. You can scrub through the tutorials with a forward and rewind button. Each of the cardboard models can be zoomed in on and moved around. It makes crafting the Toy-Con much easier to follow and making sure that you're lining things up correctly. Each Nintendo Labo Toy-Con is separated into sheets of cardboard, categorized by color, letters that break it down into further steps, and then a little icon that tells you literally which Toy-Con you're building. It's really easy to just get a grasp on. Some Toy-Con require you to use extra pieces outside of the cardboard, such as rubber bands, string, stickers, all of which are included with the Labo kit. The Toy-Con, despite being made of cardboard, are neat little creations that I think show children and even young adults that are less technically inclined the fascinating wonders of the tech behind the Nintendo Switch. The piano Toy-Con, for example, uses the infrared camera from the Joy-Con to determine which sound to play. When you hit a key on the piano, a reflective sticker will rise up, and when the Joy-Con's camera catches it, it tells the Switch which note to play. It's really cool, yet really simple and easy to follow for a younger child or even a young adult who has no idea what a computer is or how they're built. Knowing how much I was into these maker-like projects as a little kid, the explanation of how these things would work was just as fun to learn about as much as building them was. The other 2 halves of the Toy-Con software are the Discovery and Play sections. Discover gives you a more in-depth look at the Toy-Con creations, giving a bit more background information on how they work. They're presented in this SMS chat-like sequence where NPC characters talk about the Toy-Con and occasionally give you the option to join the conversation. It's cute and made more for children to show them the work sequence for the Toy-Con and little Easter eggs with each one. As an adult though, a lot of these were pretty self-explanatory, so it rarely did show me anything new that I hadn't already noticed while building the Toy-Con. On the other hand, the Play section offered games for each of the Toy-Con to interact with, some offering more depth than others. The fishing rod game, for example, is rather limited to fishing the same handful of fish over and over again. There isn't much to do after the first half hour of the game. The whole wow factor of the interaction goes away rather quickly. With that said, the piano Toy-Con is a much better experience, giving you a handful of options to play and tinker with notes and even recording your own beats. It's a much more intuitive tool that keeps the amusement factor going. That sort of explains the current situation with Nintendo Labo. Building these Toy-Con creations is fun and entertaining, either if you're a kid or a young adult. Learning how these things work with each other is fascinating and riveting, but the software just doesn't match up entirely right now. Some Toy-Con shine more than others because of the mix in quality in games. You can open up the Toy-Con Garage option that lets you make your own games or programs, but I really only see that being approached by the enthusiasts out there. You can create simple programs with an input and output sequence, but any complex fun programs is going to take some time, patience, and skills. That's going to vary immensely on the gamer and the user. It's also why I'm partially confused why Nintendo didn't just let people upload their projects onto some Nintendo server and let people download other people's projects, edit them, or just play games that other people make. Even if you don't want to have an online database, you can easily just execute the instruction of the program through a QR code and then use the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Con camera to scan the QR code. It seems really simple, but it's just not there, and it really should be. Ultimately, Nintendo Labo is an interesting first step into the new platform for the Nintendo Switch. Building the Toy-Con is easy and fun to do, whether you're a young kid or an adult. Following the provided instructions, you get these absurd yet interesting creations out of cardboard that just leave you with the sense of accomplishment. Having this finished product and just building it yourself out of just sheets of cardboard moments ago, and being able to understand and explain how everything works together with the Nintendo Switch and the Joy-Con is fun and extraordinary. Ironically, for this video game company, the most underwhelming stuff seems to be the software. The default games provided for the Toy-Con most at least end up being fun for like 5 to 15 minutes, and then the fun sort of just dies down from there. The piano software is cool, you can create beats endlessly to your heart's content, but the games like the fishing rod software have very little depth to them. You can luckily create your own programs in the Toy Garage, though not everyone is going to be inclined to spend hours creating their own project from scratch. It's why I think some sort of sharing marketplace should have been implemented. A place where people can share their Toy Garage projects for others to download and play online. I think being able to share your finished and in-progress projects is part of the whole maker and homebrew community, so not having it implemented into Nintendo Labo just seems weird. The first wave of Nintendo Labo Toy-Cons is a good stepping stone for the enthusiasts out there, or parents that just want to get their children into crafting and maker projects. For everyone else though, the average gamer, building the Toy-Con is a lot of fun, but I don't think the everlasting payoff is there in terms of the software, not unless you plan on making it yourself. Oh, and as a general PSA, the cardboard for Labo feels sturdy, but I've heard concerns from people wondering if they can replace the cardboard when it breaks down or if it ever eventually breaks down. You actually can, though you have to buy it through the Nintendo Labo website, and it typically ranges from $2 to $13 depending on the parts. That does it for our review of Nintendo Labo for the Nintendo Switch, but if you have any questions about the software, projects, or Labo questions in general, let me know in the comment section down below. You can also leave requests for future game reviews in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.